Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy. I am just enjoying the heck out of meeting new people and learning new things and growing as a leader. And I really hope that the same is happening for you with Productive Joy. So this week was no exception. I met a new friend. Her name is Davina Stanley. And Davina has written several books, but the two that we talked about today or yesterday were Elevate and Engage. And what's cool about my new friend Davina is that she has a lot of life experience that has given her the ability to help leaders qualify, quantify, and codify their message and get it to a point where it is crystal clear. And I took away from my conversation with her the importance of having a clear message. So, you guys know that Brene Brown and I are besties. She doesn't know that we're besties, but I know that we're besties. And one of my favorite Brene Brown quotes is clear is kind. Unclear is unkind. And I learned it for the first time when I was taking a project management class. And in that class, we learned clear is kind, meaning ask for what you need. Be incredibly clear with your statements. Don't beat around the bush or assume that people understand what you're talking about. Well, what Davina has done is created a multifaceted formula for how to get your big picture into something that your team can turn into a one-pager. And what I appreciated most about her formula is it really is about empowering your team. You all know that I'm a big fan of leveraging personalities and making sure that people are given the tools necessary to be the most successful version of themselves. Not the assumed version, but the successful version. And I really think that what she does is brings out that light and life in others. How cool is that? So that's actually something that I'm able to do as well. So I want to tell you a little story about a time that I worked with a team and why it worked. So this was a team that had recently acquired another team. And then, so the one company bought another one. Now they were one company together, which was all fine and good and butterflies and bubbles until you try to figure out whose systems you're going to use and which ones mean more to the team as a whole. And do we do everything the way the first company did, or do we adopt new ideas? And I was the leader at the other company, but now I'm a leader over here. How do I integrate myself? And so we started with figuring out what their personalities were. And there are so many different personality tests that you can do. As a matter of fact, they had done the Berkman, but not everybody, like about half of them had done the Berkman. But I kept it a little more surface. So you all have heard me, if you've been an avid listener, if you haven't, this is the first time you've heard that you can either be a paperclip, a magnifying glass, a teddy bear, or a slinky. And those are as they sound, right? So the paperclip is the person who keeps everything all together. They are super organized. They really like a color-coded sock drawer. They're the ones that you go to when you need to get things done because they are meticulous in how they get things done. Then you have your magnifying glasses. Your magnifying glasses zoom in on the details and they're like, we need to do this and this needs to happen over here. They are, I don't want to say taskmasters, but they are most definitely focused on what's most important and let's get those things done. They tend to be that north type of a personality that just pushes, right, in the best possible way. Then you have your teddy bears. Your teddy bears are very concerned with how people feel. They're the ones that are saying, "Hey, when was the last time you took a break or a vacation day? Or did you drink enough water today? How can I help you?" They are they're actually very estrogen driven, but not in a female way. That's just happens to be the hormone that's released in their brains. And then we have our slinkies. Our slinkies are fun because slinkies are fun, but they're also a little all over the place and they tend to be your big picture people. They come up with all these great ideas, but they desperately need a paperclip in their life to actually execute on those ideas. So, why am I talking about personalities? Because with this group, we first figured out who we were. Once they figured out who they were, then we determined how they could take aim, how they could set a clear target of a new way of work within a department. Let's say the finance team now has leaders from both companies. They had to figure out how they were going to take the talents and skills from both and turn it into something great. Okay, that's their target. How do you take aim? You analyze first. What are we doing well and what are we doing not well? Well, we started with personalities so that they could know that everybody's not going to tackle this task the same, and they need a team of people who will see it differently to be able to get the best results. Then, after we analyzed what was going well and what was going not so well, we worked to improve it. That's where we talked about safe, logical, fun, and memorable. And we went over those things. How do you make a meeting safe? Not physically safe, but psychologically safe, that people can make mistakes, that people can ask questions, that people know that you care about them as human beings first. And so once we got through safe, logical is that you have to have a plan and you have to stick to the plan, but you can't be the only person who knows the plan. So are you being clear? Back to Brene, clear is kind. Are you being clear with your expectations? Are you saying to people, I need you in my office in an hour so that they freak out for that hour? Or are you saying, I need you in my office in an hour to talk about the Smith file because at 2 o'clock today, I'm meeting with the Smiths and I really need to know what you know because you're the one working on it. Totally different hour, right? Then, so with logical, have a plan, stick to the plan. Don't be the only one that knows the plan. Then we have fun. Fun does not look the same for everyone, but fun is the only way that you can actually get neurons to fire in your brain. Did you know that when emotions are tied to learning, learning sticks? Without emotions, no neurons fire. Therefore, the learning goes straight through your brain. You don't hold on to it. So you have to evoke emotion, but everybody doesn't want the same type of fun. I'm putting fun in air quotes for those of you not watching. So when I say fun, I don't mean happy hour because that's only fun for our extroverted friends. Our introverted friends actually hate that. So instead, fun means that you feel valued and appreciated, that you are given a voice and you're allowed to use it, and that you are able to contribute to the greater good by leveraging those personalities we talked about at the beginning. So fun is it's necessary for you to make work fun so people don't quit. So, talking with this acquisition, we talked through what are you doing to make work fun for your people? How can you prevent the quiet quitting or the actual quitting that might happen otherwise? What can you bring into your meetings, your time together, your culture that will make things fun? And then we talked about memorable. Memorable means that you are not a one and done. You are instead transparent and accessible, but you also sprinkle, splash, flood, drip, drip, drip information. And that's important because you cannot just flood and expect all of that information to be absorbed because most of that water, that information is lost in runoff. It's the drip, drip, drip that allows people to keep up. So, this is what I did with this team over the course of the day. And then at the end of the day, they came up with something they were going to try with their teams. Then I left for a month. And when I came back, we reviewed the things that worked and what didn't. And they had a chance to troubleshoot together. And what they discovered is that, yes, they had to create change and they had to do so in a space where change is scary. Well, guess what? Change is scary everywhere. But when they used this formula of safe, logical, fun, and memorable, and thoughtfully taking aim, which the last part of aim, analyze, improve, is move, they had to do something differently. They tried it for that month. They figured out what worked and what didn't, and then they tried it again. That's the part we don't ever do, right? So I'm thinking back to Devina and how she talked about the importance of getting your point across clearly and then being able to go back and forth with the person that had the idea to get to a true crystallized answer. Well, that can't happen without it being safe, without it being logical, without it being a little bit of fun, and without it being memorable. So I'm not sure what your day job is. Maybe you run a team of people, or maybe you are a team of one. But in either situation, you are constantly having to get people to understand something and get them to understand it well. Well, guess what? I can help with that. Whether it's one-on-one coaching or team coaching, I can get everybody to be speaking the same language so that overall you end up in a really good space. Does that sound like something you need? If it does, I want you to reach out to me. I have a new email address. I'm so excited about it. So you can still use Learning Can Stick. That will get to me, learningcanstick@gmail. But the new email is Christie, Christie, at aimwithus.com. And that will get you directly to me so that you and I can set something up and make really great things happen. So does any of that sound good to you? I hope it does. Please share this episode with friends. If not this one, then go back to the other 80 episodes that we have to this point and get people excited about figuring out how to turn fun into action. Because the reason that I use that tagline is because I believe that if people are having fun, they stick around. And if you can get something productive out of that, that makes it worthwhile. So, what are you going to make productive today? And how are you going to bring a little joy into it? Please turn fun into action. It's totally worth it.